Living from our heart, living from our core, living from our power, we all get more. We are powerful women.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Heart Whispers Summit. I should say welcome back. I know you've been listening to many of these amazing interviews and these incredible women that we have here, and I'm so grateful that you're back and listening today. This is such an honor for me to be able to introduce all of these amazing authors to you. They're the authors of the upcoming book, Heart Whispers, which is launching on June 22nd. I'll tell you more about that in a moment. For right now, though, I'd love to introduce to you Linda Stansberry, and we'll get started talking with her, and we'll see where that goes. All right, here we go. Linda Stansberry is an intuitive, creative alchemist, professional photographer, blogger, and a published author. Her blog, Finding Zen with Cancer, serves as the launchpad to her first book of the same name. She's a spiritual practitioner offering intuitive and psychic readings, quantum guidance, and channeled messages, plus soul dragon art and readings, soul portraits, and much more. Linda will soon be releasing her first oracle card deck, Soul Scripts. Her acclaimed podcast, Conversation for the Soul, is broadcast on multiple platforms, including YouTube and her website, theowlandthecrone.com. And Linda, I'm so happy to see you today. How are you?
I am great, Sue. I'm so happy to be here as well. Thank you for having me.
Me too. I'm thrilled to have this conversation. I love your website name. I just want to say, first of all, The Owl and the Crone. And I know a whole story there, and our listeners can go to your website and check that out. So I love that. I also love the topic of your interview today. The journey of the heart starts by being authentically you. That is so very important. I know your title also for the chapter in the book is called The Journey of the Heart. And so when you talk about your journey of your heart, it's about how you reunited with the love of your life. And you both had near-death experiences, and yours was with cancer. Now, you said that you felt that cancer was a gift. Can you elaborate on that? It's hard to believe for some people that that can be a gift. Let's talk about that.
Oh gosh, it is so hard to believe. It was something that if you would have told me this as I was going through cancer, I probably would have shot up and tried to choke you. It took me a few years getting past cancer to ever get to the point of looking at it as a gift. But during my cancer journey, I was putting things in place, unbeknownst to me, to create a space for healing. And through that space for healing, I started to come to the realization that when you are open and accepting to that you can see the lesson in everything. And as time went on, I started to see, wow, what a perfect lesson it is. For instance, I was in a six-figure job. I worked in the television industry. I was in a director position. It was very high stress. And if I would not have gotten cancer, I would still be in that industry, probably closer to death than I ever could have been. It was toxic for me. It was very high stress, very, very pressurized. And it wasn't the creative environment that it had started out to be when I first got into the business. So getting cancer, moving me away from that for almost a whole year, just really got me to see what a toxic environment I was in. So going back after treatment was very challenging, and I started to look at everything with a new set of eyes. I was seeing how messed up it was and how unhealthy it was. And I was listening more to my body and what was coming through in my gut and telling me, ooh, this doesn't feel right. And I was a little more centered at that time too. And I was starting to pick up intuitive nudges of, this person isn't really being straight with me. And, this doesn't quite seem right over here. So all of it actually played out perfectly. And towards the end of that first year back, I decided to leave. And my husband, actually, he was my boyfriend at the time, said, hey, I'd like to help you move out of this and go to a different place. And it was so funny because I said, yeah, I would like to do that. And I actually saw a photography job that I could easily get with a guy in town who would walk me through the business, because I knew the creative aspect. I didn't know the business aspect. So I wanted that little bit of teaching and experience under my belt before I was full on into my own business. And I found another television job ad as I was out, and I actually applied for it and started going for it. And I'm like, what am I thinking? And I'm like, but I really kind of want it, because, you know, you're stuck in that mindset of, it's good money. I know it. It's my comfort zone. Yeah, photography has always been my comfort zone, but my gosh, making my own business, that's scary, and probably making no money that first year or two. So I applied for it and actually got to the 11th hour of the interview. And then somebody from their competition who did the exact same job applied. And they were like, wow, we're really sorry. We really like you, but we got to go with this other person. And it was just like the biggest slap upside the head. That was like, wow, I am not supposed to be here. So I picked up the phone the next day, called the photographer in Tampa. Within 48 hours, he had me working for him.
Wow. Wow. Talk about, divine timing, all of it, right? Because, a couple hours more or whatever, you would have had that job doing the same thing, that's the thing. And then it's that comfort zone. You said comfort zone. I'm thinking, yeah, it's not so comfortable in our comfort zone all the time, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. What a dichotomy. I mean, it was just like I was miserable in that job, and I knew this new job, I would be spending countless hours there, killing myself just to try and, navigate a new system and everything. And yeah, I'm so glad it turned out the way it did.
Yeah, beautiful. Now, I just want to go back to your cancer journey just for a bit. I know that you are writing a book all about that, Finding Zen with Cancer, and you at that time were going through traditional cancer treatments, and that is something that you said you might do differently these days, but you went through that. How was that experience for you while you were taking that time off to heal and all of that? What did that mean for you in changing your mind even about your career and your life and how things were showing up for you?
Well, I was going through stage 3 cancer, which is pretty serious. And actually, while I was off, I wrote a blog just as my form of journaling. And then I thought, wow, if my journaling could help other people, that would be great. So I put it out there and actually met some stage 4 folks who are no longer with us. And looking at death so closely and really knowing, if I don't fight, if I don't push myself through this, if I don't shift my mindset, if I don't take the steps that my person, my human right now feels are necessary to get out on the other side of this, I won't get out on the other side. So that was the wake-up call for me. That was what pushed me through everything to get to the other side. And I hope I answered your question, Sue.
I think so too. I know it was a big question, absolutely. And it's interesting because everybody goes through their own journey. You're talking today about the journey of the heart, and that's exactly what you were doing, is following all of that through that internal guidance and all of that. That's really what you were guided to do, and you did it. And so I love that. I know you call yourself, or what I read was that you are an intuitive creative alchemist. I love that. That sounds incredible to me. Now, when did all of that happen? Because you were in, this high-powered TV job and stuff. And so how did that happen? Was it at the same time you were doing both?
No, actually, anything creative has always been my wheelhouse. Creative ideas, creating art, creating photography, writing, all of it is just, it's what makes my soul happy. It makes my soul sing.
So when did that start for you? When did you get into this, I'll call it a spiritual type of work? How did that happen?
I've always been kind of on the woo-woo side of things. I've always trusted my gut. I've always trusted my intuition. As I went into my own business of photography, it allowed more space for me, the real authentic me, to start coming out. I started exploring more things. I had a little more time on my hand. I was no longer working 70-hour work weeks. So I had free time to explore these ideas and things. And the more I explored, the more I really started getting into that there's something more out there than just putting in the grind every day and coming home, making dinner and going to bed and doing it all over again the next day. So I started tapping into those things. And being that I love the creative side, I was always feeling like there's got to be a way to combine the creativity and the intuition. And so that's kind of where my intention has been set the past few years. So it really didn't happen till I was several years out of the TV business and into my own photography business, and started learning more about metaphysical things and intuition and meditation and all of that.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that. There's this natural evolution that happens for so many people, and that was yours. And I love hearing about that. So now that you're doing this work, right, this spiritual work, this healing work with people, have you noticed that there is anything that a lot of people are dealing with and working with your clients, same kind of issues, same common issues that people, they keep showing up over and over again? And what is that? And how do you work with them?
One of the biggies, and this one's the hardest one for everybody, I feel, is self-love. There are so many people out there that really just don't love themselves, or don't even know how to love themselves, or where to begin to love themselves.
Here's my question about that. One quick question. So self-love, do people come to you and say, look, I have a problem, I don't love myself? Or how do you come upon that?
It's just something that starts coming out over conversations. A lot of times when I work with folks, what I'll do is I'll tap in intuitively before I even have a conversation with them. And more often than not, I get a message from their higher self, from spirit, saying they need to work on self-love. They need to value themselves as much as we value them. The collective, the angelics, the higher self, they all want that for us. So we'll have a conversation, and I'll say, okay, so I tapped in a little bit before, our meeting today, and here's what came up. And inevitably that hits hard for a lot of people.
Because they don't realize they don't love themselves. Is that what it is?
It feels to me like it's something people don't want to face. It's easier to ignore the self and take care of your children, take care of your partner, take care of your elderly parents, take care of everything else except for you. And that's heartbreaking, because personally, I've witnessed, as I've been on this journey of unfoldment, when I started focusing on myself, when I started valuing myself, when I started opening up doors to beautiful, creative things for myself, I started to value myself, and I started to feel good about myself. And what happened was everything around me started reflecting that. I used to be one of those type A's who had to plan everything and had to try to get my partner to change, try to get my kids to change, try and get this, so it fell in line into my little box that I'd created. But when I started looking at me and stopped looking at all those external things, started going, I have to start valuing myself. I have to start taking care of my needs. I have to start focusing on my desires and my passions, and why have I been called here? So I started doing all of that, and everything around me shifted. It sounds so dang simple, but it really works. It's amazing.
Yeah, I agree with you. And it absolutely does happen that way. I've experienced this. I've gone through my own healing stuff, my journeys and those kinds of things. And, it's amazing what happens when you do start to value yourself more. So Linda, I know that you just explained to us the things that happened for you when you started valuing yourself and loving yourself more. What about your clients? What shifts have you noticed for them? What changes have happened in their lives?
Mm. Well, a lot of people tend to carry over some residue from past lives. And sometimes you don't even realize how that's happening. And I think a lot of us probably do that. So we will work through things like that. It just depends. It varies from person to person. Another big thing that I notice with people is they forget to play. Play seems so simple, so easy, but everybody gets so stuck in the daily grind that they forget that they need to be here to enjoy themselves. We came to this planet to explore it, to feel it, to experience it, to touch it, to do all of those things that when we're these etheric souls floating around in the universe, we don't get to do these things. So a lot of times spirit will tell me, yeah, so-and-so needs to get out and play some more. They've forgotten how to play. And, just that reminder can open up so much for people. It's so beautiful.
Yep, I love that. I'm guessing that everybody that's listening right now, I don't know if it's just me, but I know I don't play enough. I absolutely do not play enough. And I'm thinking I need to make more time for fun, like whatever that is for me, so yeah, I like that. And listeners, I hope you're listening. This is good advice, good information. Linda, I love how people share their life experiences. It's one of the reasons we're publishers, so that we can help share the stories that people have and the journeys they've had in their life. Will you share with us some things that have helped you on your journey along the way that you've learned over all these years?
Oh boy. I think I touched upon this earlier, but one of the biggies is creating your own happiness. Stop looking for it outside of yourself. Stop expecting your children to make you happy. Sure, they'll bring you joy, but they are not the creators and holders of your happiness. Your partner is not the creator and holder of your happiness. You are, and you need to decide how you're going to do that. Look for those things that light you up, what really speaks to your soul, and pursue those things relentlessly. What's another one? Being true to yourself, stepping into your authenticity is huge. Being in the corporate world for so many years, it was very easy to hide, create a persona, and live behind that, and never really let your true authentic self be seen or heard by anyone. And I think that's another biggie in my spiritual journey is being vulnerable, sharing authentic moments. We're all imperfect. We're all stumbling through this life. Why not share that with somebody else where they can go, oh gosh, I'm feeling that too. Or yeah, that happened to me. Oh gosh, I'm not alone on this journey. Those are so very important. And the other one is be open to all experiences. We don't have to attach to these experiences. They could be fun or they could be horrible. Either way, we can participate in the fun ones, or we can just observe the not so fun ones and just go, interesting, without getting sucked into the negativity of any of the ones that aren't so great, and really embracing and enjoying the ones that are amazing.
Yeah. Linda, tell me some of the stuff that you like to do for fun and to just release that creativity for yourself, besides photography and work stuff, because I know you really do enjoy that, but tell us the fun stuff you do.
Oh, wow. My favorite thing is walking in nature. We have a massive state park down the road from us with acres and acres of hiking paths. And I go out there and I just forget everything. I just release myself. And that's the place where I get the most beautiful channeled messages coming through and receive information from other spirit beings and have beautiful experiences myself with the wildlife. It's just my happy place. If I could be there every day, I would. Every time I go for a walk there with my husband, I say, can we just put a little cabin right there? Do you think they'll notice?
Awesome. I love that. Well, may we all find our own happy place like that, because that sounds really pretty cool. So, Linda, this has been great. I appreciate you so much. And I know you have a gift for our listeners. Can you tell us about that, how we can get it, and then also how we can stay in touch with you and stay connected with you?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I have a self-love guided meditation that I am putting on my website, which is theowlandthecrone.com. It will be under /heart-whispers is where you can find the meditation. And of course, you can visit theowlandthecrone.com to learn more about my readings, book a session, maybe get a dragon reading and some artwork. And also you can find my podcast, Conversation for the Soul, that is on pretty much most of the audio podcast platforms, as well as YouTube, and also on my website.
Wonderful. Well, thank you, Linda. This has been great. I so appreciate you. I'm so happy that you shared your story in the book. I'm happy you're writing your journey too, a whole book about your findings and with cancer. I'm looking forward to that. And listeners, Linda's been awesome. And I know you'll love her story in the book too. So be sure to read that. Linda, thank you so much for being with us.
Oh, thank you, Sue. It was my pleasure to be here, and I am so grateful for you.
Thank you. And listeners, we're grateful for you. We are grateful that you are embracing this journey of your own, listening to your own heart, listening to those whispers, following that and seeing what comes up for you, what shows up for you, and how you can move forward to live a beautiful life that feels good to you. So continue to do that. Be sure to buy this book, Heart Whispers, on launch day, which is June 22nd. The way that you can most easily do that is to go to our website, heartwhispersbook.com. We will guide you to the link on Amazon that is for your country, wherever you are. And then on that day, we're having a 99-cent Kindle launch special. So definitely get that book. It's awesome. Then you bring your receipt number back to the website, heartwhispersbook.com, and you will plug that in to be able to get access to more than 40 gifts from our partners and authors. Thank you for being here, everybody. I so appreciate you. Have a great day and enjoy this beautiful life listening to your heart whispers. Bye for now.